All right, what's up everybody? Andrew Mahone here, filming from my apartment today. I've got a super cool video for you all. My buddy Sean Lydon came over to hang out and do some testing for the expanded Dallas Regional Championship, and he always jokes about giving me a private showing of his old card collection because I am an old card enthusiast. I build lots of old decks in my spare time when I'm hunting around, at regional championships, looking at vendors and things like that. I'm really interested in the base set through e-reader cards. So anything that was done by like Wizards of the Coast or the very early Nintendo cards with the e-reader set, I'm very interested in those cards. So whenever I find a collector who has got some of those for sale or to show off, I'm always interested. Now I've got a great haul of things that I am interested from Sean. So I've picked out some of my favorites already. I'm going to be showing them out for you guys, the things that I plan on picking up off of him. But this is a treasure chest for a collector like me who is into these old cards. So I'm really excited about this. What I'm gonna do is just take you through a little tour of this collection that Sean has brought over for his private showing, and just show off some of the cool stuff that he has in here. Now, some of this stuff, it's not even sleeved. He's picked this up from all sorts of different kinds of resources. He's bought these from like bulk collections, online, Craigslist, things like that. Just pick these up over some time. So some of this stuff is just kind of bootleg. We don't know where it's from or how we got it, but it's all here and it's all in this treasure chest. So I had a great time looking for through this. And what I'm going to do is just show it off for you guys, some of the cool stuff that I found in here. Then I'm going to show off some of the sweet cards that I ended up buying off Sean as well. I love the e-reader stuff in this set. I think the e-reader cards are just so cool. And I'm actually trying to build e-reader format. So e-reader is in a weird spot in Pokemon's history. That is such a cool holographic Pidgeot. Check that out. Beautiful. The e-reader holo is so neat, and I love the way that it shows through there on the reader itself. And oh my gosh, the pre-release Misty Seadra. I actually collect Misty's cards myself, and even though I do own this card from the Wizards of the Coast era, these early pre-release promos, this is what it looked like. So if you went to a pre-release, you might have gotten a stamped pre-release Misty Seadra like this. I actually own one of these already, but it's not in that great of condition. So maybe I'll talk to Sean about getting that one. And this Venusaur, oh my gosh, this promo Venusaur is actually a pretty expensive card. I talked to Sean about maybe getting this off of him, but this thing is minty and really fresh looking. You can tell it's in a sleeve. I mean, there are like no scratches on the holo of that thing. That's like a $20, $25 card there. I also collect Articunos and Zapdoses and Moltres, so finding this Articuno EX in this box was amazing. I think that this is such a cool card, and it's just a little bit outside my price range right now, but definitely something that I'm keeping my eye on. It was a promo. I don't actually know a lot about this card, but it's a promo, so maybe it was like in a tin or something like that. So anyways, got base set Zapdos. This is a nice base set Zapdos too. It's actually in better condition than my best base set Zapdos right now, even though I have like 6 or 7 of these cards. So I may end up talking to Sean about that one as well. Oh my gosh, these Emerald, and there's so much cool stuff in here. I really can't believe it. I have a lot of Scythers from my Haymaker decks. I don't even know what that says. Oh, Jungle Misprint. You can see there is no actual set symbol on that. So really cool. Pidgeot there, got the misprint, no set symbol. What a neat box. Oh, and this Charizard, this poor base set Charizard looks like it got stomped on a curve somewhere. Like I said, there are so many different odds and ends and like random things in this box. That is a little bit of a better base set Charizard. Nice find there. There's so many odds and ends things in here. Oh, I love the Wizard Stamp Arbok. I got a few of those myself. Another base set Charizard. But the holographic energies. Oh my gosh, these reverse holo. I love the Fire Red, Leaf Green, reverse holo. There are quite a few of those in here. And I think that the holo, from this era is just so sick. I mean, you could just see the bling on that in the camera itself. Just looks so cool. So just gonna grind through. These are not, you know, this era. I'm like super interested in like the base through e-reader stuff. So a lot of these cards, oh my gosh, so cool. A lot of these cards I don't know as much about that Magic card, but I do. I think like I might just start collecting these, like this era, because when I was in high school, oh my gosh, and the Rockets Return stuff. When I was in high school, actually, that was like, you know, those were the cards that were coming out, and that's kind of when I started to get back into the Pokemon trading card game. Was in like high school. I had stopped for a while in middle school and kind of, you know, played like Crystal version a little bit, but wasn't too terribly into the game. But then in high school, I had a friend of mine who was also really into Pokemon cards. And, you know, we used to go to our local 7-Eleven, and I remember going to 7-Eleven. It's such a funny thing that you could just like go to the local 7-Eleven and buy Pokemon cards. But we used to go to, oh, there's a Haunter. Very cool. Used to go to 7-Eleven and buy Pokemon cards and spend like all of our allowance money, or not our allowance money, but like lawn mowing money. I used to like mow lawns. I'd spend like all my lawn mowing money, my landscaping money. Oh my gosh, these holo e-reader cards, very cool. Actually tried to talk to Sean about buying some of these holo e-reader cards, but he said he just wants to sit on them. And I gotta respect him for that, because some of these cards, you know, he just will put in the box and they'll just like increase in value over time, which is really cool. You know, I mean, some of these cards are just such an investment that they're not going, you know, they're not going anywhere. These cards are not getting cheaper for sure. I mean, the longer they sit here in the box, you know, by nature, the more valuable they get. And these, oh my gosh, look at that. These are like a collector's dream right now, a competitive player's dream. These holographic Versus Seekers from Fire Red, Leaf Green. Those are beautiful cards. You can play those in expanded format right now if you wanted to, but I couldn't really see it just because they are so beautiful. It's so nice. I wouldn't want to even put those in played condition. My golden Versus Seekers really look very rough. If anybody's ever seen those, the ones that I play with at tournaments, are, you know, they got front creases on them, and I would just feel so guilty doing that to such a beautiful card. However, Versus Seeker was played in some of those formats back then. So, you know, if you are an old, you know, deck collector, that would look really gorgeous in an old deck. Those beautiful holographic Versus Seekers. I really like that Celebi. I was like thinking about talking to Sean about it, but I can't actually use that Celebi in any of my decks right now, in any of my old decks. I don't think it's like actually a playable card in those. So, you know, I kind of gave it the pass, even though like I want it from a collector's standpoint, just because I think that that Celebi is sweet. Don't actually need it. So I did get a big haul of things from him though. So I am excited to show you guys which cards I did pick out. This Mewtwo EX, oh my gosh, I pulled one of these myself when I was in high school. I remember that. And I pulled one and I ended up selling it on eBay when I was in college. I sold it for like $10 or $15 or something at the time. I love this Articuno, but that thing is through. You can see, you know, oh my gosh, got some really bad creases on it. If it wasn't so bad, the Lapras EX2. I love these Fire Red, Leaf Green, you know, e-reader, or not e-reader, but you know, these EX Pokemon. Very cool. But, you know, I sold almost all of my EX collection when I went away to college. I had such a big collection, and I feel like there are probably so many collectors out there who just have the same sob story, like, oh my gosh, I had all these really cool cards and then I sold them to like my cousin or something like that. And you know, now you totally wish you just had them, but you know, they're gone, and now you just are gonna spend, you know, the rest of your time collecting, trying to recreate that collection that you once had. Such a sad story. I had so many cool cards, but it's cool. You know, obviously my collection is like, you know, more impressive and bigger now in some ways, but I think of some of the cards that I had from back then. Like, I mean, I remember my buddy and I, when I was in high school, we didn't really know anything about competitive play, and I had pulled a Blastoise EX from, from one of my packs, and he had a Gengar EX. And I remember my buddy was building a water deck, and we didn't play any sort of standard format. We didn't even know what standard was. We were just building with like unlimited cards, whatever. Love that Blaine's Arcanine, but that's a little outside my price point right now too, just because I have so many Blaine's Arcanines already. I think I have 3 or so. So coming up on the end of the collection here, but I traded my friend. I traded my friend my Blastoise EX for his Gengar EX, and I didn't even know the price of them. Like, we didn't even bother looking them up. Like, as far as I was concerned, he just wanted the Blastoise for his water deck, and I wanted the Gengar just because I thought Gengar was a cool Pokemon. Had no idea that Blastoise was like one of the best cards ever printed, and was like, and was in a very popular Worlds deck at the time. We had no idea. So that's it for the private showing. Now I'm gonna show off those cards that I ended up buying off of Sean. I'm really excited about these. These are gonna help out my old collection decks quite a bit. So first of all, we were able to get this Charizard here. I got 2 of these. These are e-reader Charizards, and I'm using these in my e-reader format decks. I'm trying to get to a point where I can build some e-reader only format decks, and both of these Charizards are really good in there. So there is a deck with Charizard and Venusaur that Jason Klasinski has included in his old format blog. I'll put that in the link in the description below for anybody interested in checking that out. Got 2 copies of these Charizards. They're kind of hard to find. It's actually even, as far as like on eBay and stuff, really hard to find there. So really excited to get those just, when I saw them. That I need a 3rd one for the deck, but excited to get started with 2. A first edition holographic energy, rainbow energy from the Rocket set. I use these in a lot of my base to Neo decks, and this one is in played condition. So I love picking up cards in played condition because they're cheaper. So, this was not very expensive for me. Misty's Gyarados as well. There is a deck that utilizes Misty's Gyarados. I also love Misty's Pokemon, so one day I will build a Misty's Gyarados deck. And as you can see, this one's got a huge crease in it, so it was very cheap. Since this is my 4th Misty's Gyarados, I don't really care picking up a damaged one. I could throw it in a deck and it's not that big of a deal. So very cool there. Also a Hitmonchan EX. My buddy Alex, that I traded my Blastoise EX to. This was his favorite Pokemon and favorite card growing up. So I had to pick this up off of Sean. When I saw it, it was in great condition, and I just love the EX Pokemon from this era. So really sweet card there. Also a Golem EX. Really cool card from the, from this old EX era. Just love these EXs. Think they're beautiful. Excited to pick that up as well. Sabrina's Gengar. I actually don't have this one, and I have a lot of old Gengar cards, but I don't have this one in particular, so I wanted to pick it up even though I don't really think that there's a deck that centers around it. I just have a lot of Gengar cards at this point, and I don't have this one, so I really wanted it for my own personal collection. This is actually the 4th best series, best promo series, Wizards of the Coast promo Electabuzz that I have, so now I can finally bling out one of my many Haymaker decks with all 4 Wizards of the Coast holo Electabuzz. A Blossom holographic. This is used with Ninetales in an old deck. I have 2 of them now, so I'm working towards that. We have a holographic Alakazam. It's actually usable in a lot of old decks, so anytime I find an old kind of played condition Alakazam, I just pick it up. I think this thing, Sean gave it to me on the house just because it's in played condition, so really cool. Shout out to Sean. Thank you for showing us your cards and for the hookup. We got this holographic Eevee playable in an Evolutions deck. I need to get 4 of these now. I used to have one as a kid, so it was cool to be able to find this card for my own personal collection to try and build that deck around. And this card, these 3, these Blastoise, I am probably the most excited about these base set Blastoises out of Sean's collection. This one in particular is really nice condition. Sean actually was kind of had to kind of had to, you know, to tug a little bit to get this card off of him. This is a beautiful condition base set Blastoise. Really cool. I actually don't even want to play this one in one of my decks just because it's such a nice collector piece. There are very few, if any, hairline scratches on it. I would, you know, go as far as to call this a near mint Blastoise. So really cool there. And two other very good condition Blastoises as well. I really want to build the fossil version of Blastoise with fossil Articuno in it. So as a collector player, this is really cool pickup for me. Three, you know, nice condition base set Blastoises. Really excited about those. And then I was talking about that Evolutions deck that I wanted to build. And this Umbreon is in there, but apparently this is a really hard to find expensive card. But this thing is in like played condition. So I was able to pick it up. I want to play it in a deck. I was able to pick this thing up for like, you know, a margin of the cost, a fraction of the cost that this thing would cost in mint condition. So I was happy to get a played version of this Umbreon. Such a cool art. But, you know, I don't want to pay the full price tag for it. We got Porygon 2 from the E-Reader. This is a really good playable card in the E-Reader set. Clefable, Vileplume, a Murkrow, Mew, and Machamp, just to kind of round things up with some E-Reader cards and other stuff that I got. So this is my haul from Sean Leiden. Thank you so much to Sean for showing us off your awesome old cards in this private showing. Really excited about these Blastoise, and I can't wait to put some of these cards to use in some old decks of mine. In another video coming up, I'm going to end up showing off my old deck collection and some of my other old cards in my personal collection, but I just thought I had such a cool experience going through these old cards today that my buddy brought over, and I thought I would do what I could to share that with you guys. So thank you all for watching this video. Make sure to let me know, what do you think about showing off kind of old card collections like this? Is this something, you know, if I see or come across an old collection like this, is this something that you all would be interested in watching? Did you like the video? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to check me out on Twitter. I'm always kind of showing off cards that I find or come across on Twitter. New pulls from the new set as well, things that I find in pre-releases, so on and so forth. If I see something cool, I'll throw it out there on Twitter. Check me out on Twitter at enjoyfriend, ENJOI friend, if you would like to. But thank you all for watching the video. Thank you all for tuning in. Peace.